Okay, so Dustin Lee is our next presenter. He comes from the Food Science and Human Nutrition Department. He's getting his PhD in nutrition science, and the title of his presentation is Let Food Be Your Medicine, Fuzhuan Tea and Heart Disease.
Heart disease is the leading cause of death, both globally and here in the United States. There are 17.3 million deaths per year from heart disease, and this number is expected to rise. In the United States, someone dies from heart disease every 90 seconds. So by the time I'm finished, someone will have died from heart disease. It's likely that you or a loved one has been affected. The costs of heart disease are estimated to be around $320 billion per year, and a good portion of this cost comes from pharmaceutical drugs. However, we know that nutrition plays a pretty significant role in the development of heart disease. So think about the foods that you eat. Are they nutritious and healthful, or are they potentially making you unhealthy? And how might these foods influence your risk of developing heart disease? So in my research in the nutrition science department here, we are investigating the mechanisms by which obesity and nutrition can lead to heart disease. In our most recent study, we found that consuming a westernized diet that's high in fat and sugar, a typical American diet, led to stiffening of the blood vessels. You could think of this stiffening as going from a healthy blood vessel that's elastic like a rubber band to going to a stiff vessel that's like a solid metal ring, which is not a good thing. And this stiffening of the blood vessels is a very strong predictor of future heart disease. Unfortunately, many of the treatments for this stiffening of the blood vessels are pharmaceutical based. So a second role of our lab is to investigate alternatives to these pharmaceutical drugs, such as foods. So in the same study, we investigated the health effects of tea. Tea is the second most widely consumed beverage in the world after water. Unlike many pharmaceutical drugs, tea is very inexpensive, and there are very few to no side effects. So in this particular study, we investigated Fuzhuan tea. This is a black tea found in the Hunan province of China that's consumed by the local herdsmen. And we found that by consuming this Fuzhuan tea, the stiffness of the blood vessels was actually reversed. I repeat, the stiffening of the blood vessels was actually reversed by consuming this Fuzhuan tea. So think again about the foods that you eat, and think by consuming Fuzhuan tea that you could reduce your risk of being a 90-second statistic and be an outlier. Cheers to health.